Hello and welcome to the Toxic Guys channel. I'm Toxic Guy, and today I'm basically just going to show you guys how to get onto the FiveM AspireHD Drift server. If you don't know what FiveM is, it's basically an alternative to GTA Online. It's a community kind of unofficial mod, if you like, for GTA 5. It only works on PC, obviously, and essentially there's different types of servers from roleplay servers, mainly Drift at the moment, as you can see here. But to get on this server and to get it working properly, there's a few different steps you've got to go through, so I'll show you that in this tutorial. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so guys, the first thing you want to do is to actually download FiveM itself. It is like a standalone application and it's quite easy to find. So just type in FiveM into Google, comes up, it's fivem.net. I'll put a link in the description so you don't actually have to do that. And then you just click this download client here. Download server is if you actually want to host your own server, but that's probably not what you're going to want to do. So to click this green button, download it, and then obviously run and install the exe once you downloaded it. After you've run and installed the exe, it will just come up as a little icon on your desktop like this. Don't actually start that yet because we're not going to worry about actually starting the application. If you want to check that it's actually worked, then that's fine. But once it's all working fine, once you've installed it and you've managed to open it, what you want to do next is to go to this address here. So it's the actual AspireHD website. Again, I'll put a link in the description for this. And the next thing you want to do is to click on how to play. Again, if you actually just want to do this first, it gives you a link to the FiveM website anyway, and it gives you the launcher. And this also here is a handling mod that you can install. It's kind of optional. It allows you to hold drifts longer. I don't personally use it, but I don't know, if you're finding drifts a little bit hard or you want to have it a little bit of help, just download this handling mod, and then you can put it in your FiveM directory. So after that, really, you can actually play on the server without doing any more of this stuff. But one of the key things to put in the server is one of the mods and the mod menu. So they use a lambda menu. And that basically is it fits nicely within the kind of server because there's no weapon mods or anything like that, because weapons are completely disabled. So it's just a good menu to use for this server. To go and get that, just click on this link here. Takes you to the actual Lambda menu site. If you want this as well, I'll put this in the description, and simply click download here. Now once you've got this, it will open. I'll download it again actually. It'll open this little folder here. So obviously it's got the things inside it. What you need to do now is you need to navigate to app data. So you can do that by going percentage, app data, percentage in the start menu. Open this up. Click app data back, click local, click FiveM, click in here. I don't know why it's got this little snail next to it, but don't worry about it. Click in here. And then what you want to do is create a plugins folder. Just make sure it's all under lowercase and actually in the application data folder. As you can see, I also made one here, but that didn't work because I didn't actually know this was an actual folder because of the snail. I don't know if this will be the same or something that's specific to me, but so you have to create a plugins folder and just drop the Lambda menu, ASI, and the config file. So that's all in here. If you want to read through the how to install and the changes and stuff, it's quite easy anyway. But that's basically all you need to do for the outside of the server stuff. So what we'll do now is we'll try and hop in the server and show you how to work all this stuff in game. Okay, so once you've booted up the fivem.exe, you've probably, wherever you saved it, I recommend your desktop. This is kind of the home page. So down here at the bottom you've got home, which is just showing updates, servers and settings. I don't know if you want to mess with some of the settings. I don't think I have myself, so I won't worry about it. Just go to servers. In here you can either type Drift, but obviously this tutorial is specific for Aspire, so just type in Aspire, and then you've got these three servers here. So they're quite full at the moment, so I might not be able to get in just now, but essentially if you want, just save these to your favorites. I think I've got some, yeah, I've got that one saved as my favorite. The difference between these is there's a track drift and another track drift, which is kind of just modded tracks as downhill circuits that you kind of have to no clip to. And on this one it's Los Santos, so it's just the normal Los Santos city. As you can see, they're probably the most popular drift servers out there, and that's really because they're the most stable, they're the most developed, the best. They're just really good servers, which is why I'm making this tutorial specifically for that rather than just any drift server, because there are a few. If you type in drift and go into browse, There are quite a few other drift servers, as you can see, but AspireHD is quite distinctive. Just look for the yellow writing. I don't think anyone else has got it apart from this Asia Drift server, but that never has anyone on anyway. So save them to your favourites straight away. It'll be much more helpful to get back. And we're going to try and get on a server. Exactly, as you see, it'll show that it's full. It does show that there's more players than there is, but I think that's a FiveM problem rather than their server specifically. But I mean, they're usually quite full at this time. So we'll just try and get on this track drift one. They all work the same. The mod menu works on all of the different ones, so we'll just try and get in. So this menu bar at the bottom here, it'll show you as you're booting in how much of a loading you've got. The loading times vary, usually depending on kind of how many people are in, and if you've booted in before, obviously you won't have to download some of the files again. There we go. So we've loaded into the track server here. On the Los Santos server, you kind of load into random places on the map, but on the track servers, you log in just on this little plane here, which is basically where everyone just parks. So to use the menu, you want to press F1, and it'll bring up the lander menu like that if you've installed it correctly. If you haven't installed it correctly, make sure you've extracted it into make sure you've extracted the menu into the FiveM files rather than just dropping the RAR in there, because that won't work. And just make sure everything's fine. So on the menu, use the numpad keys as you would with any other mod menu to navigate up and down. The first thing I usually do is change my player skin, and you can do that by going through to player skin, and then you've got all the NPCs that you want. There's not as much as some other kind of more detailed mod menus, but this one's really more compatible with this server just because it has what it needs in rather than lots of other random stuff. The usual one I go with is, I think it's Tao Cheng. Yeah, that's him. Next, you can also see all of these other kind of options here. I always would put invincibility on. You get crashed into, you get run over, you don't want to die. It's not kind of the server where you want to keep frequently dying, so I'd put that on. All these, well, it's up to you, but really any of these is kind of pointless, seeing as it's mainly going to be driving. So the next thing you can do is obviously spawn in your vehicles. Now to do that, you can go on the AspireHD website, so that's aspirehd.uk, and look at the spawn menu. Now to spawn a car in, you press T to go into the chat, /spawn, and then one of the codes. So one of my favourite cars is the R32 Golf, so you just put R32, boom, and it's spawned. So it spawns in default like that. And you can get in and start it up. Now turn the radio off. Okay. So one of the main things you'd want to do really is customize your car. Now every of all these modded cars, they've kind of got varies in how many modifications you can actually do. The Golf is quite actually modifiable, so if you go in, you go back to vehicles in Lambda menu, you've got modifications here, your paint options, your damage settings. I always turn off all the damage as well, because obviously you're going to get bumped into quite a lot. If you want a more realistic experience, I suppose you could keep this off, but for me I just found it frustrating. So if you go into modifications, you can obviously look at all the different things. So you've got all these spoilers. Again, they're all different, some have more than others. This has got quite a few, as you can see, so just put that on. Front bumper, guys, again, you've got quite a few. Hang on.
How can I go to another track, please?
So turn off voice chat. Yeah, so you turn off voice chat just by going into your settings and then voice options, because people do get quite annoying on it and have bad mics, so I never tend to speak on that. Anyway, back to the vehicles, you go into modifications again. You've got different front bumpers, obviously. So just pick one of those. Take that one. Back bumpers. So you get them, get the gist. It just normal mod menu type stuff. To go to a different page, just press numpad 6 or numpad 4. You can go between them. For American people or not English people, bonnet means hood. So you can get different bonnets or hoods in there, because people keep asking where to find them. I wouldn't suggest touching any of the engine upgrades because it affects kind of the handling of the drift. Also with suspension, don't bother touching those either, because that just again messes with the actual handling of these cars. All the vanilla cars don't actually have the drift mod. I think the handling mod that you download allows the drifts for vanilla cars, but I don't have that downloaded, so my vanilla cars are fine. However, these add-on cars, which is what people mainly use and what I always use, these actually do have the handling as assigned to them as a car rather than just a general overview. So if you only want to use the cars that are add-on, you don't need to worry about the handling mod too much. So again, obviously we got all that. Some of these like modded cars won't allow you to have different wheels on it, but the Golf, I think, does usually. It usually allows you to have wheels. It doesn't seem to want to let me today. Let's have a look. No, don't seem to want to let me have any custom wheels today, but usually it lets you, so I don't know why it's not working today. Other things you can do in Lambda menu are obviously the wheels settings. You can't really do any like global settings like time or weather because that's server operated, not client operated. But as for locations, you can use your marker to teleport and stuff like that. General mod menu stuff. Weapons is just for other servers. Obviously this mod menu wasn't made specifically for drift servers, so on servers that haven't got this disabled, then this will be allowed. If you press F2, you get the no clip. This is just so you can again on this map, so you can fly to these other kind of maps that are up here. You can change the speed by using shift and then Q and Z to go down and up, and AD to rotate, and your mouse to look around. So that's what I mean. You've got this little downhill section here. I think it's Akira Mountain, Akita, something like that. I'm not massive on actual real life drifting, so I don't know exactly what they're called, but some Japanese mountain. So yeah, so you press F2 again, it just drops you down here. Now for actual driving, it's probably better if you've got a controller, because it allows you to kind of get a feel for the car a lot more. So I can use a controller here, and yeah, that's basically it. If everything's working and you're in loading, then it's just a matter of practicing, because I'm not very good on these mountain sections, as you can see, but on the tracks and things that I've practiced more, I can actually drift a lot better. But yeah, that's pretty much it for actually getting into the server. I'll leave there also their Discord address and their TeamSpeak address. I think they've still got a TeamSpeak up. If you want to get in contact with any of the staff, and they might be able to help you if you've got any problems. Also, if you've got any issues, just drop me a message in the comments and I will be sure to help you out and actually get into the server. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Hope it was informative enough. Hope I didn't miss anything out. I don't think I did. But if I did again, let me know and I'll try and fill it in somewhere. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video.